NFL analysts are projecting certain positions that the Buffalo Bills will be drafting, and in this video, I want to discuss these positions and maybe the priority that Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, and everyone is going to place on that position. Now, I know everyone talks about taking the best player available, but I really think the Bills should be eyeing up some certain positions here, and clearly the most obvious is wide receiver. We listened to One Bills Live, and a lot of the comments were saying that Gabe Davis is going to get paid and that there's really going to be no way the Bills will be able to retain Gabe Davis. Somewhat like we saw with Jordan Poyer last year, a lot of people assumed Poyer was going to get paid, but he ended up not getting paid primarily because he's an older veteran-style player, and no one really came up to the plate and gave him the salary that he felt as though he was going to get. So he came back to the Bills. But with Gabe Davis, and a lot of comments saying like Christian Kirk, Corey Coleman, right? Getting some big time salary contracts, even without being the top of the top wide receivers in the league. But it's a passing league. Like, teams put a premium on wide receivers. So I really think, looking at it, the Buffalo Bills are not going to be able to retain Gabe Davis. Like, it's going to be very tough to retain Gabe Davis. A lot of people are saying he's going to be making around like $15 million. Like, there's no way we're going to serve that amount of money to Gabe Davis. So looking at it, obviously, wide receiver is probably the top choice in this year's NFL draft. And looking at where we're drafting at 28th overall, will we be able to get a player or a wide receiver that is plug and play at the 28th spot? NFL analysts are saying there is a lot of talent at the quarterback position. There's a lot of talent at the tackle position, and that is going to push these wide receivers back to the Buffalo Bills at 28th overall. Now, some other thoughts I had here really is trading up, right? Making sure we trade up and actually get the wide receiver that we want. We get the wide receiver that ultimately fits the Buffalo Bills. But Chris Brown on One Bills Live has addressed this. Why not draft two wide receivers, maybe of different skill sets, and see what goes down? Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Isaiah McKenzie working out, wearing Buffalo Bills gear, I think signals to me that Isaiah McKenzie could very well come back on another reasonable deal to Bills Mafia. So if we bring that skill set back alongside Deontay Hardy, who I think is probably going to have the best season that he's ever had, pairing back up with his coach, with the Saints that he was with for 4 years. And I think if this coach could help out Isaiah McKenzie, who kind of has a similar skill set, should ultimately help both of them out. Now, the other position here that is clearly a hole is because of Micah Hyde. We need a safety, and it is a free safety. Like, Jordan Poyer is kind of that strong safety, getting in that box type. Now, I know our safeties are versatile. They can play both. But to me, we need a safety that could literally run fast, cover both sides of the field, especially if we're in a single high safety. Not necessarily a big, strong, physical style safety that's going to come in the box and slam things. But Poyer is in the last year of his contract, so it does open the door to really both. But the priority right now is more of a free safety, a coverage type safety, a fast safety that doesn't get burned over the top, that can cover both sides of the field. I think that is ultimately what we're looking for. Now, the other concern I have here is that we really have not started a rookie safety. And Sean McDermott even said, like, how important it is to understand the game, to have that communication. And are we going to really trust starting a rookie safety? And will we be able to get one of those at 28th overall? Now, a lot of people are saying there really isn't a top tier safety in this year's NFL draft. A majority of them will be selected in round 2. And if the Bills do decide to do that, like, we could get the pick of the litter. But at 28th overall, it ultimately is like a second round pick. So if we select a safety at 28th overall, getting the pick of the litter, the best safety in the NFL draft, it would ultimately make a lot of sense. But I do think the Bills may address this in free agency. Now, it starts with correcting the cap and doing all these things, but I think there is a highly likelihood that the Bills select a safety in free agency just to bring some veteran knowledge there. And don't forget Christian Benford potentially moving in to safety, Trey White moving over to safety potentially too, Kaiir Elam. You never really know what is going to unfold. Now, the other position here, I think the Bills need to project for long term is the backup spot to Mitch Morris. Mitch Morris also in the final year of his contract here with Bills Mafia, and he's getting up in age. He's getting a little bit older, and a lot of NFL analysts are saying, hey, look, there's a lot of great talent coming out on this offensive line in the interior. There's a lot of good centers coming out. And I think this could be like somewhat of a transitional year for the Bills to draft a center, to live behind Mitch Morris for this upcoming year, to learn this offense, build the trust with Josh Allen, and ultimately play for the following year. And what it's going to do is save us a lot of money getting rid of Mitch Morris, right? I love Mitch Morris. He's a great player, and he still has a lot left in the tank. Don't get me wrong, but I think we need to just start building for our future. And kind of just going back to safety too, like we do have Damar Hamlin, right? Damar Hamlin, more of like that coverage style safety. And I think the Bills might actually consider bringing in a rookie that is a tackling, that is a physical style type. Now, the other spot I want to discuss here are kind of that hybrid linebacker safety positions, right? Bobby Babich, now our defensive coordinator, started with the safeties, moved on to the linebackers, and there is some cross between linebacker and defensive line too, because they kind of work together. But I think having a hybrid style player that can play that linebacker safety role in that like big nickel dime package that Sean McDermott rolled out last year. And by having one of these hybrid type style linebackers, I think we could just mix and match, kind of help out the deficiency of that safety role that we're going to be looking to fill. If Micah Hyde doesn't come back, Cam Lewis could very well be that free agent that we sign to supplement that safety spot too. Another area I'm looking at is actually tight end, still another tight end, but more of a physical style blocking tight end that's an extension of our offensive line. You know, last year with Aaron Cromer, we utilized different offensive linemen. And I think if the Bills could bring in a tight end that is more so like a style, like a blocking style tight end that can be an extension of the offensive line versus an actual offensive lineman, get him under a rookie deal, and we could also have this center that's backing up Mitch Morris, play center, play guard, right? Be kind of a swing center guard. And don't forget about tackle too. Like I think we need tackle, but just looking at the overall priorities of it, I think wide receiver is clearly the number one priority. If we don't get Micah Hyde back, I think it's safety is number two. Number three would be backing up Mitch Morris. And then from there, I think we can kind of mix around a little bit, whether it's that linebacker safety position, defensive line too, I think is ultimately important, having some holes there to fill. But appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe. 80% of you are not subscribed. Also check the link in the description of Course Careers. You guys could get $50 off any of their courses, land a high paying career in tech. Appreciate you guys. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.